Like, as in move at my own pace is what
Yeah.
you're kind of getting at, right?
Yeah.
A snake does that, fool.
Nah. Snakes slither so fast.
No, they don't. They're chill. They
Nah,
feel
when
the
you're like,
vibes. Nah, that's if you annoy them. Let's start this thing, fool. Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Amelia.
Welcome back to Ask the Duo podcast. Podcast where we aim to build a better mindset for better relationships.
Yeah, and we're going to strengthen our relationship today by asking a whole bunch of questions from this thing that my mom bought us. What is it called? Talking points. And yeah, I don't know. She saw our podcast and she bought this box of cards that have a bunch of questions, which we thought it'd be fun to play today. And we've picked out a whole bunch right here. And we're going to go through them.
Damn.
Are you excited?
A little bit.
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit, mate.
All right. So they will,
Who's they will?
we, I don't know, I, who, we, him, her, she. It has a mixture of questions about each other, some relationship ones, and some life questions, which I thought would be really good. And these are always fun to do. So,
Yeah. No, these questions are pretty hectic.
all right,
So
let's get into it. First one. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
I've had many very good advices, but the most recent that I have received that I can remember is life is a journey and you have to be cautious as to how you hitch your wagon. So what it's basically saying is you need to hitch your wagon on the right people, and that right person will basically mentor you and educate you and show you the right pathway and direction for success. So you need to choose wisely as to who you
Work with?
yeah, basically.
I guess
It's hitching
that's
a wagon. So you're trailing on someone who's leading you in a pathway. Choosing wisely as to who you're hitching your trailer on will have an impact, a significant impact into your direction and pathway goes.
That makes sense. I think that also applies to just life in general. Like
Yeah.
if you're, even if it's not career, who you hang around with or who
Surround
you
yourself. Yeah.
relay your questions to and advice and problems, it has an effect too.
Yeah.
For me, it's really hard for me to remember things. My memory bank is always empty. But one thing that comes to mind is an advice from my dad is always be willing to give things a go. And I think that's how I've always lived life, no matter if it scares me, if it's something that I'm not sure of or something I don't know anything about, just give it a go. And I think it's the best advice because you experience things no matter, like you give it a go, you might fail, but it doesn't really matter. You tried it, that's it.
Damn.
Next one. What are you most grateful for right now?
Just to be alive. Life is so short. You only live once. Shout out to Drake. But yeah, just to be here and amongst the living and
Yeah, I would agree. I was actually going to say something similar. It's just grateful that we get to do what we're doing every single day. And sometimes there are challenging times, but it's still part of experience and part of living. And yeah, it's just a good thing to be alive. All right. What did you learn a little too late?
ooh.
While you're thinking, something that I learned a little too late and still learning, it's quite similar to an episode that we're talking about, is just being able to understand my own feelings and express it and know that I'm allowed to express it rather than holding it back or feeling bad about things that I'm feeling.
I feel for me was confidence, like learning how to be confident in myself.
But do you think it was too late though?
It took me a long time to be confident in myself. And I think that's also comes down to my maturity as well. Like I feel like I didn't really have any true movement until I was like in my late 20s, in my opinion, that is. If I understood that life was what life was in my early 20s, I would have had my shit screwed on at least.
Yeah, I think another one that comes off the back of that is for me learning too late is just don't worry about what other people think about you. There's always going to be people who judge you, think certain things about you, but who cares? Just do whatever you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and that's off the back of being confident, right?
Yeah. Nice. How did your childhood dreams compare with how your life is right now?
childhood dreams, I don't think I really had like a specific, oh, this is what I wanted to be.
Be a fireman.
I don't actually, like, I don't, I'm sure I would have said I wanted to be like something like as a kid. I think my sister did say something
Was
roughly.
it like garbage truck man or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall having a specific dream. I think just having a full-time job and a family. I think it was. I don't know. Like it's nothing.
Does it compare to how your life is now? You're halfway there. You got a full time job.
Yeah. Like I mean, yeah, okay, tick the box, but I also feel like that's something that was potentially ingrained in us from
Mm.
parents as well.
That is true. I think for me, I'm not a person who had a particular material thing that I wanted to go for as a dream. And I wasn't ever a person who was looking into the future. I was similar to what you said, lived life day by day. But I think I was definitely someone who was searching for a certain feeling, like to be happy and be at peace. And that was something that I felt from a very young age. And comparing to how that is now, definitely happier than with a lot of things that I have now and more confidence in myself, but definitely a lot of things to work on as well.
Mm.
What would you like to do when you retire?
Don't really want to think about it because
Why?
it's. I mean, look, retirement can be a subjective topic. I feel like when I think of retirement, I'm thinking, okay, I'm nearing my
Your time of life.
time of life, but
That
I
is
would.
true.
I just don't. I like I said before, life you treasure life as it is because you're lucky to be here, present, doing what you need to do. I don't try to think about the age, more so what I could be doing.
Mm.
So I think if I could be traveling or just enjoying my time with you or something like that, well, it doesn't have to be something specific, anything. Yeah, as long as we're enjoying
Time together.
that time together, I think that's what probably matters the most.
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, yeah, retirement might mean that we're in our 50s, 60s, 70, but maybe we might hit something where we retire early and we get to travel the world. That'd be awesome. So I think similar, just enjoying time together, spending time together no matter where that is. And if we do have a family, spend time with the family as a group. I think that'd be really good. And yeah.
Mm.
Is there something that you would like to change about yourself?
Something I would like to change about myself. Snap. Is there something you'd like to change about yourself?
I think I would definitely want to continue to work on my personal confidence and not in a way where I'm making myself go out there and look like I'm like the most confident person, but confident in terms of helping people, confident in terms of being positive about myself. Not that I'm not, but just even more on that. I think that'd be really good.
I think knowledge. I think general knowledge in every facet, whether it's politics, whether it's about, IT, tech. I like watching, like as an example, I like to watch not just podcasts, but like discovery videos about like how do I survive in camp stuff and how do I build things from
Mm,
primitive scenarios, etc., etc. I like to understand,
just general knowledge.
yeah, just random things because those random techniques or skill sets you could potentially use one day.
Actually, that was actually my thought before I said confidence. I knew I had something, but I forgot. But I also want to change myself in terms of being more intelligent, more knowledgeable, because in return, that is what brings me confidence.
Nice.
What would you miss most if we were no longer in this relationship?
Everything. I think, look, the dynamic that we have is
Mm.
quite unique. Like, just, I think our relationship is weird, but yeah, unique at the same time.
Yeah, I think I would say everything as well, but just to be more specific, you are the only person that I have felt the ability to be completely myself, where I'm weird, I can show my excited emotions and whatever, and I never feel like I'm being judged. Like I know you're just like you're weird, but I know truly deep down you're not judging me, and I can be whoever, whatever, and just speak my thoughts without having to second doubt my own thoughts. Where in general, with other people, not that it's their fault or their problem, I feel a lot less confident in being able to do that.
Yeah.
So if we're not in a relationship anymore, I think that's the thing that I would miss, and just having someone who can support you in that way.
Deep.
Very deep. What have you lost since childhood that you would like to regain?
I miss the 90s vibe. Like that's obviously the time that I grew up, and just thinking back in those moments, it was so different. It was just so chill, being like socializing. I used to go out and ride my bike, skateboard, walk over to a friend's house, knock on their door, and that's okay. Like that's acceptable to today's standards. Nowadays, if you do that, you're
It's like, why are you bothering
yeah, why are you bothering me?
me?
Or not
Get
even
out
just
of
that, but there's a negative connotation like, oh, what's this? What are you doing here? You going to rob me, or you trying to scout for stealing? Like there's
Yeah.
so much shit that's going on now.
Mm. I think something that I won't say I've lost, but it's definitely just not happening nowadays. It's just the family time. When I used to live with a whole bunch of my family all in the same area, it was just good to be able to go to a family's house and just hang out, like my cousin's house or something like that, have family gatherings. And we do that almost every year now, when at the start of the year for Chinese New Year, and we all get together, and that's when I feel the most grounded, so that's something that I miss.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I miss as well because it's just going over to like family and friends places for whatever it is, dinner or whatever it is. But you hang out with everyone, all the kids.
Yeah, and your cup gets filled.
Yeah,
What do I compliment in your personality, and what do you compliment in mine?
fuck. I think we both, I won't say G each other up, but I have a backbone support for what you need that I have. And there are things that you have that I rely on you and you support me on.
What I was going to say is that we do exactly that. We both complement each other. And I feel like it's not like it probably is a personality thing, but we're quite fluid, like liquid. So, say you are more stressed out, I will be the one that's like nurturing, and then vice versa. If I'm really frustrated about something, which I don't usually do, you're the one that's a bit more frustrated. You can adapt to the situation, and now you're the one that's like being the understanding and caring, and we just kind of move like liquid in that way.
Mm,
I think that's what we complement each other well in.
yep.
What do you feel is currently missing from your life?
What I'm missing is probably more social life, more family and friends time to like just do like a fortnightly or monthly or weekly, whatever, meet up, catch up, dinner, or hang out, chill out, whatever the fuck it is.
Mm.
But just that in general.
Yeah, your social cup's quite empty.
Yeah.
I think what I'm missing, because we have recently, well, when this goes out, it's not quite as recent. We did go to Korea for a travel. So I think it's just time in general is what we're missing. But we're never going to be able to grab enough time. But time, which in turn go around and see the world, just explore the culture, see things like that. I think that's what's missing, because to me, I really enjoy traveling, not just because it's like you don't have to work and all that kind of stuff. It's just the ability to learn so much from other cultures around the world.
Yeah. To experience what it is like and yeah, just to be amongst it. Yeah.
If you could enroll in a PhD program with no tuition fees, what would you study?
I think I want to be a
Why is
doctor,
that?
do something in, I would probably do something in medicine because I I have always been someone that I like helping people in some way and form. And I've always been fascinated in doing like something in medicine. My downfall is I suck at studying and I can't concentrate when it comes to study.
Yeah. I think I have a few. Mine's quite similar, except I'm really fascinated by TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine, and how using herbs and natural things like that to help your body or help balance your body, that really interests me. The other thing would be consumer behavior. I did do a bit of that in terms of my marketing degree, and it really just interests me in terms of how people think and why people think the way that they think, and just how people consume and their behavior in doing things.
Nice.
If you were to die tomorrow, what would you regret most?
If I was to go today, I would say experience life more, go travel, maybe have a family or spending more time with certain people like your parents or something like that.
Mm,
I think that's probably what I would probably regret the most is that because like you said, we can't buy time. Time is so valuable that we don't have enough of it.
mm.
just not being able to do enough of those things, like I said, like socializing with your friends, like the specific friends that you really truly appreciate. Yeah.
I think the thing I would regret the most is going out to socialize, not socialize more, but to meet more people. And in turn, meeting more people, just having a wider network just to learn things from or to do things with. And that as well, like traveling. So when I was in uni, every year on the what's it called, the summer break, you get 3 months off. I went back to Hong Kong every year, which is really nice because that's where my family's from to see family. But to think back, I had the opportunity to use this time to go travel the world and I didn't. I didn't even think about it. So I think it would have been good to see more of the world in that way.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite food as a child? Do you still hate it or do you love it now?
I mean, the only thing I could really think of is the bitter melon soup. My dad used to make it all the time.
Every Chinese person would know this.
Yeah, and he used to force me, and well, not just dad, but mum as well. But
It's good for your skin.
yeah, it's good for your skin and like your health or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to hate it.
So it's essentially like this long melon that's light green, but it's bumpy and it looks really ugly. But then what us Asians usually do is stuff it with mince and this vermicelli rice noodle looking thing. You put it inside and it literally is what it is, a bitter melon. And when you eat it, it's really bitter.
It's actually really bitter, and that makes the soup like really bitter.
I actually don't mind that now. I actually enjoy drinking it.
I mean, now I haven't had it in ages, but like I don't hate it. I'd still drink it. But I know when I was a kid, I fucking hated it. Yeah.
Actually, I remember something you don't like, the dried shrimp, the mini ones. You always pick it out.
Yeah. So mum, I don't even know what the hell that is. It's
just dried shrimp.
Yeah, mum used to make this.
Or anything with dried shrimp.
Yeah, anything with dried shrimp, I don't like it.
But have you always hated it?
Yeah, as a kid, I used to take it out.
You still do?
Yeah, and now even I still do. I just
you make me eat it.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like, why would you have dry shrimp when you can just have fucking prawns, bro?
It's the thing that gives flavor. It's another Chinese ingredient that you use to give flavor into food. For me, there's a few things I hated. I hated Chinese mushrooms. So it's like this black, big, ugly thing, but I actually really love it now and I put it in soup. I used to hate it. I don't know why. It just tasted gross to me. And this one I still hate to this day is, what do you call it? 1,000-year egg or the preserved egg.
Yeah, preserved egg.
Which is another Chinese ingredient. You usually find it in congee.
Yeah.
And it's black, like translucent black. And it has a weird taste to it.
Fucking love it.
Friggin' disgusting, and I can't ever eat that. It just, to me, it tastes like eating metal, like iron.
Nah, it's not that.
That's what it tastes like to me. It's disgusting.
You get a yum cha, so yeah, it's good. I love it, man.
Nah, so I kind of agree. This one's really interesting. It's more about the social life, social media. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your smartphone, which one would you keep?
I mean, that's not really social media, but that's just like non-standard apps.
Well, digital life. And we made a condition that it doesn't include factory apps. So your cameras, your messages, text
message stuff.
Like those don't include, but what would you keep?
Yeah. I think I would keep WhatsApp.
Yeah, me too.
Because I still like to communicate with peeps.
But is your messages enough? Your SMS, your standard factory one?
Well, you can't do group.
Yeah, that's
unless
true.
you have an iPhone.
That is true.
Yeah. And as we know, a lot of my friends are Android users, unfortunately.
Including me.
So, yeah, WhatsApp, definitely keep that. The other 2, I don't even know. I think I would probably just keep like a bank utility tool.
That is true.
Because you need your money.
Banking on the go.
Yeah. And I don't know. I would keep YouTubes.
Priorities. I think I would keep WhatsApp. Yeah, probably banking, and I didn't really use my phone all that much, to be honest. I would say camera, but that's already factory.
You play games, don't you?
Nah, like I could do without that. That's the thing. Maybe Chrome. I know that there's a standard Samsung internet, but I just like the usability of Chrome, just so that you can Google, search up whatever. And that Chrome comes with what's like Google Assist, things like that. So got versatility, you know? If you were rich and didn't have to work, what would you do with your time? We actually were talking about this on our walk yesterday.
If I was rich, yeah, look, I would do a number of things. I would collect cars, buy a warehouse just to fill it with cars.
The real life Fast and Furious.
Yeah, much better than that. But yeah, I'll do that. I would collect watches because I love watches.
Any specific type or brand?
Um, so high end stuff. So anything that's just like Rollies, APs, maybe some Pateks, maybe into the other boutique stuff. I might hit some Zenith. I might do IWC.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
Calm
mean?
down. I don't know if everyone knows what these things are.
Well, for the guys that know, you know. And outside,
hit up the comments if you have a specific watch that you like to, or if you're
Yeah.
really into watches like he is.
yeah. And then outside of that, I would probably just travel the world.
I think I'd do the same. Since we've been talking about traveling so much, I would travel with my time, and because I'm rich, probably invite some friends to come along, invite family to come along, and then the one that we were also talking about is if we have enough time, enough money to spend, I would just invest in donating it to some good causes around the world that can help people do research or poverty, whatever it is, give back to the community.
Yeah, I'd do the same because you just got so much freaking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your most used emoji?
Probably the laughing emoji.
Do you even use it? I don't even see you use it.
I use it at work.
Really?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
You don't use it on me. You don't laugh at me.
No, I do the LOL, that's all.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not an emoji, is it?
No. I also use the laughing emoji or that smile with the tear. There's like a half smile, half crying. Like, I don't know. I just find that pretty funny. If you were given $1 million that you had to spend in a week, how would you spend it?
I would invest it through asset channels of either property. If you want to go risky, maybe shares, but with how everything is going, I'd probably just stay property.
Yeah, I would do the same, and hopefully we can settle the house in a week and get something.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've done, and would you do it again?
What's the craziest thing I've done? Fuck yeah. When I was young, what was the most fucked up thing I've done? I boned a chick in the botanical gardens, man.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was like nighttime and there was people like walking past and I don't know how the fuck we just
living life on the edge.
Yeah, living life on the edge, mate.
Craziest thing I've ever done. No, actually, would you do it again?
Would I do it again? Oh, look, if push comes to shove and, you know, we're keen, then, mate, anything goes.
Never say never. Interesting. Craziest thing I've done. I actually have no idea. The only memory I have, I'm sure once we stop recording, I'm going to have all these crazy ideas that come to my mind. But I'm just thinking when I went to Thailand and then we were on, I think, a bus or something, and some random tour guide was like, hey, do you want to do bungee jumping? Didn't know him, full speaking Thai. Didn't even look up what was like the security or the safety of it. I was just like, yeah.
Send it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Rocked up to this bungee jumping place. And I'm sure all of Thailand is quite similar, but it was on a crane. You get lifted up by one of those construction lift on to the crane. And they pretty much only tie your legs up with rope. So that is tied to the crane. You jump off and that is it. So, and it was hanging over an extremely contaminated, dirty river that you can just see all the gross algae and dirt and
Keeps
whatever.
the dead bodies in there.
I don't know. It just didn't look clean. So I was like, hope this doesn't snap and I hope I don't fall in that because I don't know what's in that. And I did it. I'm still alive. I'm still here. And it was a crazy experience. Would I do it again?
Fuck no.
Probably not because I've experienced it. But yeah, I live to tell the story.
Nice.
What is the biggest pet peeve? Your biggest pet peeve?
I think the biggest pet peeve for me is when people fucking eat and chew with their fucking mouth open.
I kind of knew you were going to say that.
I just fucking, I don't know, man. It just grinds my gears, man. And then it's like, dude, just close your mouth, dude.
Biggest pet peeve. this pet peeve is very particular, but I think when you're asking about something, you're just trying to clarify or you're trying to, get some answers, like just conversation, and someone's like, don't worry about it, or pretty much just brushing off your question and something, but you're just asking questions like, oh, why are you doing this, or what happened here, or whatever, and they're just like, don't worry about it. I hate it when people do that. And I think this is an upbringing thing, always been told, don't worry about it, especially when you just want to learn or you want to, I don't know, ask more questions and they don't want to try and reply.
Yeah, I can understand that. That would be annoying.
And you do that. Nah, only lightly. What has been the highlights and the lowlights of the past year for you?
The highlights and the lowlights. What is the highlights? I think the highlights would be going traveling, going to Korea. That was a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lowlights, fuck, I think the economy being the way it is now.
That is true. Yeah, low light's definitely watching the interest rates going up like every few weeks. That is not good.
Inflation.
And watching your mortgage payments being more and more expensive.
Cost of goods going up and it's fucked. So, yeah.
Yeah, highlights similar to you, but seeing that this year has, like, looking back past the last 12 months, getting married is still within that year. So that's a highlight. Going to Korea as well, I think that's also a highlight. What's the most illegal thing you've gotten away with?
Like ran away from police or something.
But that's because you're driving, right? Your cars,
Yeah, I was driving.
car stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think either of us have done anything that's too extreme. Anyways, what was something you believed as a child that makes you laugh now?
Damn.
I have another funny story. This one, I don't know if I've told it before, but it's a story that me and my cousin always love sharing. Is my dad told, I think my dad was looking after me, my cousin and me, and we got in the car, and then my cousin said something probably like, oh, you don't have your seatbelt on, or like, oh, I can't find my seatbelt, because it was a van and I think he moved the middle seat all the time, so the seatbelt got stuck in the back. And she was like, oh, there's no seatbelt, or I can't put my seatbelt on. And my dad was like, you don't need to put your seatbelt on if you're sitting in the middle. And we pretty much believed that. And over time, that cycled back to my cousin's dad, which is my dad's twin brother. And my cousin was like, oh, uncle told me that if you sit in the middle, you don't need to put the seatbelt on. And he's like, what the hell? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So that's something that I used to believe that makes me laugh now, because it still cracks me up that we actually thought about that. But if you think about it, the middle seat is the most dangerous because you fly.
You can fly forward, yeah, and there's a gap in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's changed my perception of it now, but the tooth fairy. Did you ever put...
No. Never got Santa, never got tooth fairy.
So I did it one time. I put my tooth under my pillow.
But was that because your parents told you, or
my sister told me?
So
I did it, and I was like, okay, well, fuck it, well, whatever. Put it under, and then I had this, like, I don't know. I woke up the next morning, and I had this little like piece of paper, and it was like a little booklet, like it was folded into a booklet, and inside it was like from Tooth Fairy, and then it had $1 in it.
That's pretty cute.
But then the really strange thing was the writing of like on that piece of paper was really broken. Like, you know how your normal writing is like straight, neat and whatnot?
What, did the pen dry up or something?
This was like, it was very like as if it was like a kid that wrote it. It was very messy.
Maybe your sister wrote with her left hand.
But I don't know. I was lying on it. So I don't know how she managed to put it under my head, but...
Oh, so you made that box and you put it on your
pillow.
No,
I didn't make shit. All I did was I put my tooth under my pillow.
That's so cute.
So if it was my sister, great. But I woke up to that. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
but were you happy? Were you like, yeah.
Yeah, I got $1. I was like, fuck yeah, $1, man. $1 back then was fucking lollies, mate.
That's funny. That's pretty cute. Would you do that to your kids?
I don't know.
Like do the tooth fairy thing?
I'm not sure. Would you?
I think it would be good. I think it'd be something fun. I think seeing their excitement about something is what makes me happy. Until you have to tell them that it's not real.
Yeah, and then they'd be like Santa and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. With Santa, I don't know what it was. Like we did do this whole Santa thing it wasn't very explicit, like, oh, Santa gave you this, but it was like you just knew that on Christmas Eve when you wake up you get presents,
Mm.
but it wasn't this was from Santa or something. You just knew that presents appeared. So I never had a belief in Santa, and when people at school was starting to realize and saying Santa wasn't real, I felt nothing about it. I was just like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really make sense for us because it's not white Christmas. It was more fiction based in the States where it's all Christmas,
but at the
snow.
same time, like we weren't big on presents either. Like you
Mm.
just get one or two things and it's sometimes shared, like the gift was shared, like this is for you and your siblings together. So yeah, I don't know. I just can't remember exactly what happened, but I just remembered there was no difference whether or not if I knew Santa was real or not.
Yeah. And I think most of the homes in Australia didn't have chimneys. Like it's not a thing here. Chimneys is not a thing,
Mm.
only because it's not cold like
Yeah, like
snow.
doing the cookie and the milk thing.
Yeah, it's not something that we do here.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just kind of like, oh, fucking whatever.
I got a
We just
gift.
get pregnant. Not pregnant. Presents. Whoa.
Every kid getting pregnant on
Sheesh.
Christmas is some
Not
hectic
good.
turn of events.
Not good.
Okay, what's something I don't know how to say this word, frivolous, that you don't mind spending money on? And when I googled it, frivolous means something that has like no purpose or something that's just didn't serve.
There's no purpose, no
anything.
intent.
So I guess it's just something that you don't mind spending on.
Food?
Like even if it was like $10,000 for one dining experience.
Well, probably not 10 G's, but like if it's like
$1,000,
$1,000, then
and it was like a top well-known top third restaurant.
yeah, like I'll maybe do it once in my life. I wouldn't be doing it fucking every day.
Yeah.
You know?
Something I don't mind spending on. Frivolous. I would still say travel, but I don't know if that's frivolous because
Nah.
there's still something out of it. It's a hard one because I'm not someone who would spend on unnecessary things, if you get what I mean. Like it has to serve something either I really want it and I've wanted it for a long time or I've thought about it for a long time. I don't know. I'm not a big spender in that way. Maybe food, I guess, as well. Just the experience. Like if it's something that I get to experience with someone or with you and it's worth to enjoy something together, then yeah, I'll spend it. But I think that still has a purpose though.
I don't know anything else that falls on that.
What are the top 5 things on your bucket list right now?
Top 5 things in my bucket list. Snap. I think just enjoy life more. And I know
But
that's
in
very
what way,
broad. I think it's
though?
probably enjoy life more in terms of the experiences. So travel more if possible. Set us up better in terms of financially, more passive income potentially, whatever it is, property, whatever. That's one thing. And still enjoy or still be able to treasure life, even though it's busy and, we don't have time and stuff like that. I know that's not really, I don't know if you want to count that as
Specific.
yeah, it's not very
How
specific.
many was that? 3?
Yeah. 4 would be spend more time with family and friends. And then 5 would be to be healthy, to maintain a.
But that's just kind of like wishes in life, though. Bucket list, though. Things that you want to do.
That's still something to do.
Okay.
I live a simple life.
My bucket list, I think, I know we've said travel a lot of times, but I think a bucket list that I want to do is just take my mum and my sister and your mum to somewhere and travel together. I think that would be a really good experience. Another bucket list, I want to get a dog. Number 3, I think get an investment property. And then number 4, I still think that I would really love to open a really chill vibe kind of cafe. I know that might be something in a long-term future thing, might not even be viable, but a bucket list of doing that and diversifying my income stream. We're such business people. Everything that we have is just about money, making money. Yeah, this one's a fun one. What is your spirit animal and why? But I think we'll change it. What do you think is my spirit animal and why? And I'll answer yours.
I don't know what your spirit animal. I think you're a fish.
Why am I a fish?
Because you know how when you catch a fish, and then okay, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but when you catch a fish and you put a fish like outside of water and they flip flop, they're like, that's what you do.
What do you mean?
They fidget and they're like, oh, blah, blah. Fuck.
Well, how does that explain me? I don't go like this and flop around all the time.
All jokes aside, I actually don't know. I think you're probably more. I think your spirit animal is a dog.
Why?
I think your character is very much like a dog.
A bitch?
Not like in that connotation, but I mean like a dog in a way where you're very loyal, you're very like curious. And
That is true.
you like having attention, not that kind of
Affection?
attention. I mean, yeah, affection.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just
Very happy to come see you.
yeah, and you're very happy, like you're very expressive, and I feel like dogs kind of do that. Yeah,
Expressive when I'm happy, I think.
yeah.
Your spirit animal? Very hard to say, actually. A turtle.
How the fuck is that? How am I a turtle, mate?
It's like not that you're slow, but you're just very like you're so chill. Like I would think of
Turtles
you.
aren't chill, are they?
Yeah, well, they can't really run.
I'm a snake then.
Nah.
Snakes are chill.
Snakes are vicious.
Only if you fuck with them.
Nah.
If you annoy them, then they'll
just
go
because
crazy.
your Chinese horoscope is a snake. Nah,
Well-
I think turtle. If people don't ask you or push you to do something, you're happy to just chill and just be on your own.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain.
There are plenty of other animals that
Like
do
what?
that.
Like what?
Like, as in move at my own pace is what
Yeah.
you're kind of getting at, right?
Yeah.
A snake does that, fool.
Nah. Snakes slither so fast.
No, they don't. They're chill. They
Nah,
feel
when
the
you're not-
vibes. Nah, that's if you annoy them.
Nah, I stick with turtle. A goppugi. Anyone else watch Korean dramas? Goppugi is how you say turtle. All right. What's something you tried really hard to like but just couldn't?
Study, and I couldn't.
But did you try to like it?
Yeah, I try to fucking read. I try to bloody like dedicate some time to something. Fuck no, it ain't me. It ain't me.
The study life didn't choose me.
Nah, see you later.
Mine's similar. Something I really tried hard to like. Tried really hard to like is to read, because I know how much knowledge and just things that you can learn from reading. But no matter how hard I've tried to hold a book, to set up an environment where I might feel really comfortable to just sit there and read, I just can't do it. But I'm so grateful these days for podcasts, because I can do things and listen at the same time. And most of the time that I do it is while I'm driving, and I can still learn a lot from it. So very grateful for podcasts,
Very nice.
which is why we do one now. No, not really, not the same reason, but all right. Lucky last, what's something you've tried that you'll never ever try again?
I kind of feel like it's mistakes, like the things that you actually know.
But you didn't try to make a
Yeah.
mistake, it just happened. I don't know, this is one. So I think it just goes back to when you're in high school and you're just very immature, you're trying to fit in. There was one friend that I got really close with, and I thought being relatable or agreeing with someone is, cool, or you'll be liked or something like that. And something I regret still to this day is she also had another friend that was also my friend, but they were closer. And one day she decided not to be her friend, and she started, I guess it's just a little bit of lightly bullying. So she was saying how like, oh, she's not cool, or she's not funny, or whatever like that. And at that time, I don't know what I was thinking, and I was like, oh, I need to relate to her so we can still be friends, as in the girl who was being the bully. And I didn't pick on the girl, but I was just like, yeah, like just kind of saying like, yeah, or like agreeing and things like that. So that friend that I was also friends with, later on she did tell me she was a bit hurt by that action, which I can totally understand. And I explained to her that I do regret doing those things like that, but that's something that I tried, which is trying to fit in and trying to be liked, and didn't want to create conflict in a way where people are like, oh, you're not cool. So I didn't want people to think that I'm not cool or I don't want to hang out with you. And because of that, I did the wrong things, I guess, and just did the wrong action. So I would never try that again.
I'm gonna say something very similar. It's more about one thing that I would never do again is trying to fit in for something because I am who I am. If you don't like it, fuck you. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
was there a certain experience that you
yeah, it's probably in the early years, probably like teenage, maybe even teens. It's like you're trying to fit in a group and, it's just a different crowd or whatever it is. And you just want to be acknowledged in some way and form.
but how did you try to fit in?
There was a situation where I wanted to fit into a group of friends and they were different to what I normally am. They're probably more like, shit, what's the word?
Like the
They're more like
cool people
jocks.
in
Yeah,
school.
jocks. And I try to be like that. Like just their character, how they act, how they talk. Yeah, that kind of got me into that group, but it wasn't really who I was. And you can tell that the guys, like the different groups that I used to hang out with, realized that I was different and they kind of questioned it and treated me differently. And I think that's like one of the biggest things that I probably learned from that was just be yourself.
Did your friends reel you back though?
In some way and form, yeah. I ended up changing that, like hanging out with different people after that. During that time, I hung around everyone. So
Yeah.
like the stoner group, fucking,
Stoner group.
like people who are just real nerds, to people who are just like, jocks to the normal people. And it was just trying to fit into which crowd that I thought I could resonate with. And you have to change the way you act, talk, whatnot to fit in. And yeah, that's something I would never do is to be fake, to try and be something,
Mm,
to fit in. So it's more like be yourself.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that's quite common. Like when you're a teenager or you're going through those similar phases, a lot of people, it's technically in a broad perspective, you're doing trial and error. You're just seeing if I
Yeah.
do this, what's going to happen? If I don't do this, what's going to happen? And then over time, as you mature, as you grow up and learn from your experiences, you realize this isn't something that we should be
Yeah.
doing.
Unfortunately, there are still people out there who don't realize that and still do that. So,
Yeah.
just be yourself, man. Fuck what other people think.
Yeah. Be yourself,
Be
be
yourself.
respectful.
Be yourself.
Isn't that meant to be treat yourself?
You be yourself this time, man.
All right, that's the end of our questions. Hope you enjoyed it. We really love doing these things, but let us know if you enjoy these type of content and we would love to do more if you enjoy it. And let us know some questions that you have for us. If
Yeah.
you do, leave it in the comments. That's it.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Peace.